Hello, my classy people. Wayne Bolden. I'm here at the Speed King channel. And as always, please subscribe, ring the bell, do those things you do to support your Speed King. And hopefully, everybody had AG Bullet at 5-2, the race from the Belmont Stakes card that was moved over to Sunday, the ninth race on Saturday. I don't remember which race it was on Sunday. But AG Bullet, right, our best bet of the weekend, did end up winning and paying $7. So that was maybe could have salvaged the weekend somehow. And of course, today we're going to be looking at the Monomoy Girl Stakes. Yeah, the girls, the 3-year-old babies, are back in town at Churchill Downs, right? Yeah, you know some of the actors there. I want to try to get a few videos out. I'm going on vacation this week, and I'm going to have a little R&R for sure, right? So let's dive into the Monomoy Girls Stakes race on Saturday, June 14th. Yep, it is race number 5 on the card, about 2:45. A small but unique group. About 6 fillies in this race. And we're going to start right in with the monster in the room, or the elephant in the room. And that is the number 2 horse, Immersive. Yes, that Immersive. If you remember when I did the Acorn Stakes, my video, I talked about a Godolphin horse that I thought was better than Good Cheer, if that was possible. And of course, we faded Good Cheer in the Acorn, and we took our top 2 picks, Lucara, and of course, that old beautiful, beautiful Look Forward, right? Nice exacta, by the way. Well, Immersive is the leading lady in this year's Monomoy Girl Stakes. Now, speaking of Monomoy Girl was trained by Brad Cox, of course, right? And was had 17 races, 14 wins, 3 seconds, right? 4.7 million. How great she was, right? Go back and look at some of Monomoy Girls races. So this one, Immersive, a Godolphin bred and owned, of course, also in my fantasy stable at Godolphin, right? So we always have a little rooting interest there as well. And of course, you know I support Godolphin horse racing. And this gal is fine, Immersive, right? 4 for 4. 4 starts, 4 wins. None bigger than the Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly back there November 1st at Del Mar, right? And trained by Brad Cox. Manny Franco, not Flo, has rode this horse all 4 times, right? Now, she is by Nyquist, the Derby winning Nyquist, by that grandsire, the late, great Bernardini. So this Godolphin runner, like most Godolphin runners, is primed, right? She's a good gal. My only knock, if there was a knock on her, is that we haven't seen her since November 1st, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly race. Now, I thought she had some issues. I don't have any information there, but I just don't know why you wait so long to bring a 2-year-old back who has such a stellar career at a 2-year-old. Wait 7 months to bring her back, okay? That doesn't sound right. I will say that the race that she ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly race was a big jump from the Al-Sabaidi stake race she won back in October. But that last race, irregardless, it was such a big jump in speed figures, should not have any effect on her because it's been 7 months ago. So if anything, she may need a race, but this field isn't that strong, okay? So obviously she's going to be a very, very short price, being your Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly winner, being by Godolphin, you know, homebred of Godolphin, and of course everybody can read that she's a merry horse, trained by Brad Cox and his band of big head horses, right? So again, Immersive, she's back, right? And she's on the scene. I'm pretty sure she'll have her wrecking machine. She could bring her B game probably to beat these. Now, as we project her development, the question is how much more, how better is she than she was at 2. Well, we all anticipate that these horses developed, got bigger, filled out. Now it's a 3-year-old, got 4 experiences. Oh, so she is just clearly the horse to beat, and she's going to be a short price, the number 2 horse, Immersive. So you don't need me to give it to her. Obviously, I'm wearing the silky blue today, representing, of course, my boy Al Matum out there and company. So again, Immersive is clearly the horse to beat here, and the way that Brad Cox places these horses is just brilliant. He didn't throw her to the wolves. He's going to get a nice, easy race under her. There's only 1 or 2 that really should threaten her in here. Okay, so she's clearly the horse to beat and most likely winner here. The only question is, will they be all out to win this race? And they probably don't have to beat this field, after a 7-month layoff. She's improved probably dramatically. She's going to be 1 to 2, 3 to 5, easy in my opinion. That being said, I'm going to kind of wait and see and I'm going to place her second as my second pick with the clear understanding we all know she's the filly to beat, particularly when your Speed King told you before that I thought this one was better than the other Godolphin runner, Good Cheer, who I have them both in my fantasy stable out at Godolphin. But Immersive is a top filly. The only question, like I said, is the 7-month layoff, and will she be a little short? At 3 to 5, I have to wait to see. So I'm going to put her as my second pick. Who's going to be your first pick? Well, you ain't got to look far. The number 6 horse, Take Charge Me Lady. There he goes with that Take Charge horse. Well, hey, listen, this 3-year-old filly, y'all all know that Kenny McPeak trains Take Charge Me Lady. She's by Take Charge Indy. You can go look her up or look him up all you like. Take Charge Indy. On the back end by Scat Daddy. Of course, Brian Hernandez is in the arms, and McPeak is doing the conditioning. It's the law firm, y'all. And I think his family, Sherry, I think it's his wife or ex-wife, I'm not sure, have some ownership in this horse. Well, Take Charge Me Lady has 7 starts, 2 wins, and 2 seconds. Now, I've been on this bandwagon with her since the Martha Washington, where she won at Oaklawn Park on January 25th. They brought her back in the Honeybee, where she ran 10th. No, she didn't. Yeah, she ran 10th in that race. It was not good. And again, running 10th in that race, she had some problems at the gate. The winner of that race was Quiet Side, 5Gs, Mahima, the Bob Baffert runner, was also in there. Look Forward was in that race, who ran a great race in the Acorn. And she just lost all chances coming out of the Martha Washington race, if you ask me. And so I kind of put a line through that. I excused that race, the Honeybee, the grade 3, running 10th. Then she came back on April 7th and ran a bang-up race, which I thought she would have won that race, but she got held up down the backstretch by Mahima, Bob Baffert horses, and Lucara, the Tracy Farmer horse, who I'm glad, Take Charge Me Lady didn't catch her, because, she was 8 or 9 to 1 Lucara, and I love Tracy Farmer, bred known horses. And I really do believe she would have won the Ashland on April 7th if she would have gotten clear down the backstretch and not in tight and let Lucara go ahead and do what she do on the front end. She ended up running second in the Ashland Stakes. Okay, so her last race coming out of the Ashland was on the May 2nd, that Friday before the Derby, in the Kentucky Oaks. Once again, she had a bad break, brush from the left side, brush from the right side. She ended up finishing 12th that day. So to make a long story short, Take Charge My Lady kind of been unlucky. Okay, and if you can excuse the February 23rd race at the Honeybee and the 2 races after then, the Kentucky Oaks, where she ran 12th. She ran 10th and 12th respectfully, in the Honeybee and in the Kentucky Oaks. The Ashland race is just a beautiful, beautiful race, other than, again, being a little unlucky down the backstretch from what my lion eyes tell me. Okay? I just didn't think she had a, Lucara got away. But she came running, and it didn't help that she was on the rail when she turned from home. It's hard to young horses to pass horses on the inside. They like to be on the outside. So, in my opinion, Take Charge Me Lady hasn't run a race, an effort, we like to call back in the sheet days, since April 7th. So it's April, that's May, June. So she's sitting on a 6-week freshening, and the Kentucky Oaks is a non-effort. We'll just use that as a workout. That's a non-effort, finishing 12th. So if you ask me, Take Charge Me Lady had more recency than Immersive. She surely is going to be a better price than Immersive, right? With the clear understanding Immersive is who she is, right? And, obviously we'll have her on our ticket. But my top pick is going to be Take Charge Me Lady. We think she's sitting on go-go, y'all. Basically off of the April 7th race, right? The May 3rd race is you just put a line through it, but it did fill the gap in terms of recency, okay? So if she has any edge over Immersive, it's that she's been racing and she's maybe a little more fit, if you can say that, over Immersive. And plus the price is going to be a little bit more attractive than what will be on Immersive. Now, the Immersive does have a string of 7-day workouts, 5 or 6 of them, so we know she's probably in tip-top shape. So we're going to give Take Charge Me Lady a little edge because of her recency racing, not coming off of a bench. Her best race 2 races back should help her, fresh, fit, and fast. And, of course, her price is going to be a little bit better. I expect Take Charge Me Lady to be the second choice. Everybody can read the racing form. So my top pick will be the number 6 horse, Take Charge Me Lady. And our second pick, of course, is going to be Immersive with the clear understanding she's the horse to beat. So for us, 5-2, right, in a small field of 6. If we had to round out a trifactor, why don't we just throw in the number 3 horse, Annie's Promise, right, who's by promise fulfilled, Panther on the back end, David Carlos is doing the conditioning, and you got my boy Louis Sayas. She looks clearly overmatched. Annie Promise, the number 3 horse, I believe. That's right. And but you could use her underneath in the tries and super in a very, very small field. All right, for sure. So there is your, your Monomoy Girls Stakes on Saturday, race number 5. Princess Aaliyah is in this race as a side note. Okay, I don't like that horse at all. D. Wayne Lucas, hey, we respect the coach, the Hall of Famer, everything he do, but he runs these horses as traditional, much, too close together. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 1 week. He's been doing it since Winning Colors, right? I don't particularly care for that. I like to give him rest in between, but Lucas, that's not his deal. I don't like the number 1 horse, Princess Aaliyah, in here. She runs too much, but that's Lucas' style. No disrespect to the coach. We bow, tip our hat, but I don't like that. That's just my personal preference. So there it is in the Monomoy Girl. Go look at some of her races, right? 14 wins from 17 starts, and hey, 3 seconds. Hey, that Brad Cox trained her, and guess who trains Immersive? You got it, Brad Cox. So our top pick here is going to be the old Kenny McPeak horse, Monomoy Girl. Take Charge Me Lady. Think she should have won the Ashland. I'm glad she didn't, because she would have caught Lucara, and we had her pretty good that day. So the number 6 horse, Take Charge Me Lady, for the better price and the most recent racing. And our other horse, obviously, is the clear favorite and likely winner is the number 2 horse, Immersive. Silky blue, right? Best in the world. And she's in my fantasy club. So we'll have both of them on our ticket, hoping for the better price. Let's hope that Immersive needs a race. I doubt it, but maybe. All right? So there it is, 6-2. And if you want, throw the 3 up underneath in the 3rd hole. My name is Wayne Bolden. I'm the Speed King. Looking forward to our vacation.